Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to F1 2019 and the F2 feeder series. This is the second part of a two-part series of the F2 feeder series career mode thingy. This is the interview after last race in the last part. If you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. We were at Austria. We had contact with Devon Butler, and front wing got broken, and we were able to recover after his penalty, and we finished in P7.
I was looking for you. Well, what can I say? I guess there's no other way to put this, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry for ever giving you the common respect that all racers deserve, because you don't deserve it, neither of you do. That was the dirtiest driving I've ever seen.
Ridiculous.
I thought exactly. I'm taking my line and I get smashed into? I'm fine, by the way, thanks for asking. And then I'm penalised for the privilege.
You're unbelievable. You deserved every second of that penalty, maybe more. I mean, aside from trashing the car, did you ever stop to think that maybe someone could get hurt?
Yeah.
Me? Fine. But winning at any cost is your strategy, not ours. You better watch yourself.
Whatever.
Don't let him get in your head. He knows you're a better driver. So, on the track, stay away from him. He will try to force you into contact. That's how he wins, yeah? Let's get ready for the press briefing.
So here we are in Abu Dhabi. Each and every event in the Formula 2 calendar has led us here to this, the final event of the championship, and one that promises to be a spectacle every bit as exciting as we might have hoped. So the Yas Island circuit offers 21 corners and a lap distance of around 3.4 miles. There are a few opportunities to pass with long straights and DRS zones in 2 places, turns 8 and 11. Plenty of close racing then, plenty of speed, and plenty of excitement for the fans, no doubt. Joining me for one last time here this year is Davide Valsecchi. Davide, I'm glad you're here because I think I'm going to need help processing all this. Surely, this is as exciting as it gets.
Yeah, you're right, Alex. It's the perfect finale. 2 drivers, rivals of season, now going into the final race tied on points, both way out in front at the top of the standings, meaning whichever of these 2 drivers cross the line first will be crowned champion. I can't wait.
So, as you may have just heard, this is the final race of the season. There are 2 drivers who are equal on points going into this final race. Whoever finishes in front of the other driver will be crowned champion. The 2 drivers the commentators were speaking about were myself and Devon Butler. It is going to be a 0-stop race, mediums to the end. I'm starting on P4, I'm starting on P8, Butler is in P4. It is 5 lights at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and lights out and away we go for the start of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and I actually get a very bad start as Markelov overtakes me and Fukuzimi actually overtakes me for a second there, but I go up the inside of Fukuzimi and Norris, actually squeezing out Norris very much there unintentionally into that first corner, and we are up by 1 position as we're going into the series of chicanes here, and everyone brakes so very early because they're in a train, and I didn't expect them to brake that early, and I go up the inside of De Vries and actually smash into the side pod of my teammate Lucas Weber there. Could have been very bad, but we go through the very tight hairpin and onto the very long straight actually, which is supposed to have DRS, but we are still in the opening lap of course, and DRS doesn't get enabled until lap 3 as we are into the other chicane. Abu Dhabi is a very technical circuit, and it requires a lot of downforce, which is something that these F2 cars don't have. Like the difference between the F1 cars and the F2 cars in terms of downforce is so it's so big that the F2 cars just really like to slide around like the last part of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in like the final sector, and I absolutely hate Abu Dhabi, even with the F1 cars, because I tend to not do good at it, and you can see the lack of downforce. I go very wide into that corner, and that will be a repeating thing throughout this Grand Prix. That corner will be the death of me. But I really don't like Abu Dhabi as a track. So having it with a car that really likes to slide around and a car that doesn't have a lot of downforce was just a really irritating race, because I couldn't catch up to my teammate Lucas Weber. As we go into the first corner onto lap number 2 now, we get a pretty decent run on Lucas Weber, but these next series of corners will ultimately eliminate that, as we go again into the series of chicanes that I really do mess up here, as I cut the corner very massively around the inside of the bollard, and I'm surprised I only got a warning for that. I probably should have gotten the penalty. But anyways, we move on again. We are in the slipstream of Lucas Weber. Can we make up enough ground? Can we go for a move down the inside? We need to pull this move off, because we need to finish in front of Devon Butler. And currently there is a car between myself and him as we tap the back of my teammate, as again we are onto another DRS zone, but we are on lap 2 still, and we won't have a chance to overtake into the other series of chicanes. Lots of chicanes, really tight 90-degree corners in Abu Dhabi, which I normally like 90-degree corners in circuits, because it means that, you know, it's just a very simple corner, brake zone, you turn in, apex, and then you put the power down. But with F2 cars, it's a really irritating thing, because you really want to put your leg down and put your foot down, but you know that if you do too early, the car's just gonna spin out mildly. So on to the final corner now, and on to lap 3, where DRS will be enabled. There is no DRS, I think the only circuit on the F1 calendar that has no DRS on the start-finish straight. But that doesn't matter now, as we have DRS on Lucas Weber onto the very long back straight here at Abu Dhabi. But we just can't make up any ground, but we actually do go for an overtake down the inside. It's a very smooth overtake, but there's a tiny bit of contact there twice, as Devon has had the inside for that corner. It is side by side into the second DRS zone. We both have DRS, but I have the inside for this corner, and I smash into Devon Butler. Again, should have sort of been a penalty, but I'm glad nothing happened. Into the next right-hander, as we have gotten rid of Lucas Weber now. We have finally overtook him, and there's only Devon Butler in front of us in P4, as we go very wide there. And actually, my teammate Lucas Weber will re-overtake me. Very bad corner from me there, and we're gonna have to do it all over again. We have overtaken Devon Butler, but we just went in way too deep into that corner, and Devon Butler has re-overtaken us, as we are now skipping onto the back straight, and there's yellow flags up ahead, as we are on board with Sete Camera, who's now fighting with Devon Butler. And Devon Butler wants to go for P2, and he actually pulls the move off. Now there are 2 cars between myself and Devon Butler, and I think that's Nicholas Latifi who's out of the Grand Prix, as I'm side by side again with my teammate on the very next lap. We go around the outside of not my teammate, but Sete Camera as well, on the inside of these 2 corners, and I am right behind Devon Butler. I think on the very next lap, yes, lap 4, we were able to pull the move off again on not only my teammate Lucas Weber, but also on Sete Camera, who got caught up behind Devon Butler. And we are now in P3, and the person that was eliminated from the race was Nicholas Latifi, who was leading the race, so very unfortunate for him. as we now have DRS on Devon Butler, who doesn't have DRS on Alexander Albon. And into the first corner, after that long straight, we weren't able to get a nose in front there. We weren't able to get side by side, but we will have DRS again onto the second DRS zone. We are much closer this time. He doesn't have DRS. We're into the slipstream round the outside. It is going to be side by side into the corner, and he sort of pushes it out wide, but we're going to have the inside for that next right-hander, and we are through for P2. We are through for the championship. We are currently going to lead the championship as we head quite wide through that corner, but I have sort of gone rid of Devon Butler, barring any other mistakes, and now I actually set my sights on Alexander Albon. He is the man I want to overtake. As I go for the overtake on lap 8 now, we skip ahead, and Albon will have the inside for that right-hander, and we're going to go again side by side into the next corner, and he actually has DRS. I don't have any DRS, so he's going to be faster. But who will be the victor out of these next series of chicanes? It is Alexander Albon who has the inside, but he slows down massively for some reason. I have to somewhat cut the corner there as we're still side by side into the inside of that left-hander, and we are through for P1 of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We are not only leading the championship, we are leading the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the final race of the season, and we as well have a car of Alexander Albon between myself and Devon Butler. So a little bit of a safety net maybe if I go a little bit too deep into one of the corners, as I did after overtaking my teammate Lucas Weber. I'm going to be overtaken maybe by Alexander Albon, but I have a little bit of a gap now as we skip ahead to lap number 10, and nothing is really going to happen for the rest of the race. Really sorry to spoil as we go into the final lap. We have a pretty sizable gap to Alexander Albon of, I think that was 2.7 seconds. But Devon Butler is currently putting pressure on Alexander Albon with my teammate Lucas Weber in behind, but that won't matter. I don't care who finishes second or third. On to the final corner. We are victorious in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We are world champions in the F2 series.
It's been my privilege over the years to witness a number of great sporting events, and here's another to add to that prestigious list. It's the ultimate dream for any racing driver. We have a new Formula 2 world champion. So as they climb out of the car, the ART team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. Talk to me, Davide. Was it everything you hoped for?
Everything and more. He had it all. The rival, the tension, the excitement. These two drivers have been locked in fierce competition all season. And to see it comes down to head-to-head battle for the line like this, well, this kind of things doesn't happen very often. Devon put in a good performance throughout the championship, but today the accolade goes to his rival and the new Formula 2 champion.
So there you have it then. The second part of the two-part series is coming to an end. It was very nice, these three parts, as you can see me here celebrating my title with my team. See you in the next video, and as always, ta-ra.